Hi all, thanks for tuning in. This time we've got Magneto from X-Men. This is part of the the Revoltech Yamaguchi Marvel figurine line. Previously they had Spider-Man, Deadpool, Spider-Gwen, and Wolverine. And I've covered Spider-Man and Wolverine in my past videos, so check those out if you haven't seen those already. So I've had this for a week, 2 weeks now, and spent a little bit of time with it. So hopefully I'll be able to give a more informed opinion, my opinion of what it's about, how good it is, and so on. So let's get right into it. Normally I'd go through the optional parts, but this time I'm going to go with the figurine first, just because I think he might fall down pretty easily. He's pretty top heavy and all that, which you might have read already, based on other people's time with him. So this is Magneto himself. He looks pretty cool. You can pose him quite well with some cool poses. And he does come with the stand, as most Revoltech figurines do come with. I didn't actually open the one that came with him. This is just probably from Spider-Man, I think. But it's the exact same stand, just it doesn't come with 2 extra pieces, like this piece and then this claw piece, because he doesn't need them. So this is the figure itself. I've posed him in a okay pose for now. And I've attached the cape onto him as well. The cape comes in 3 parts. And it is a big cape. It's a massive cape. It's a lovely colour that it's been painted. It's a reflective-y sort of purple, and yeah, I quite like it. But it comes in 3 parts, yeah. So that's what makes him very, very top-heavy. So you might need to get a better stand if you want. The stand that does come with it's okay. As you can see, you just need to get a screwdriver. I think it's just a Phillips screwdriver, and just tighten the screws in this bottom section, midsection, and top section, just so it doesn't kind of collapse. But it still probably will anyway. So let me get him off the stand and then just get a closer look at what he's about. As you saw, the stand plugs into the back piece over there. So this is Magneto. Even in my hand, he's very heavy. He looks cool. The shading on him is great. The coloring is great, and he looks great. But there are some caveats, as always, with Revoltech figurines. So I've already changed a little bit about him. So his face, for example, you can change the eyes, and you can change, well, his hands, as always. And what else can you change? You can change, oh yeah, his head, the helmet. You can take off the helmet as well. So I'll get into that in just a moment. This is kind of twirling around a bit more. Show the underside of the cape. You can see there's a gap there, and then bottom side of his boots, and then closer look. Sorry about the light, let's just change that. There we go. And I've changed his eyes as well. Anyway, so in terms of movement, he can move his arms up and down. You're not going to want to change too much about it. And his legs go up like so, and then not too far back, but he doesn't need to anyway. And then the knee bends back about that far. And then you can also do the kneecap. It has a small pivot on there as well, so you kind of clean up the look, if you like. Sometimes it does look awkward even then. That's the knee down, and then of course the ankle up, which is the usual stuff, and then the toe. My toe is a bit loose on here, I can feel that. But again, that's one of the caveats with Revoltech stuff. Oh, sorry, and then the midsection. So that's just an example of him. I just didn't do much, but his cape's pulling him back a bit. He can go about that far back. That's with the cape kind of forcing it back. And then he can crunch forward. Whoops. Told you, the cape is quite heavy, like so. But again, he's not really going to do too much of the... well, he might do something like that, but he's not going to need fancy poses like, say, Spider-Man or something like that. He's serviceable. It's just that he is quite heavy because of the cape. But if you get a good stand, it'll be quite good. And in terms of colouring and detail, it's all really nice, in my opinion. From the actual in-person view, the shading might be a bit too much for some people. Around the abs and the muscles, all over him. It's quite dark. But for me, it works really well. And then the purple as well, and the cape, pants. The helmet as well is all quite nice. It's quite nice. I like this face. I don't really care for the face that it comes with afterwards. This extra face I'll put up here. I'll show you the optional parts as I go along for this one. So this is extra headpiece, so you can do it without the helmet as well. And I'll show you how to do that. There, that was fairly easy, it just popped off. So the helmet comes off in 2 pieces. This is his throat piece, and then the helmet. And you can just pull off the face through here. It's a bit finicky at times, but let's see if we can get it. Yeah, there we go. That was easy enough. And then you just swap off with the other face as well. Whilst I'm here as well, you do get to change his eyes with an included piece. So this little part just pokes into the eyeballs in the back over here. I'll show you one, and that's gone the other side. Let me just do that again. So there we go, almost got it. Yeah, so his eyeball comes back, so you can get him looking in, you know, certain ways as well. So it looks a bit weird there. But anyway, let's go to the other face. Well, I've already attached it on his hair. You can take it off this as well, but I won't do that. And then you just put it back on, like so. I don't think this one needs the throat piece. This is more just for the helmet, I think. Let's try that, actually. I didn't actually try that. Should have tried that before. Yeah, no, this is just for the helmet. If he's got the helmet on, then he'll need it, but yeah. So you don't need this one. So this and the helmet come together, and then if you don't want the helmet, you just take that throat piece off and then put him on. It'll be a bit loose as well, depending on how lucky you are, and it will get loose over time. Again, just something that Revoltech are, in my experience, we're known for now. But it looks cool either way. I do prefer the other face though. That's just my opinion. And you can change the eyeballs on this one as well to the just the white eyes. So that's cool. And then also for his arms, because you might have seen in pictures and everything, he comes with these effect pieces. These are actually magnetic that go into his palm hand, so you can just show you they are magnetic. And then the production photos, they had like paper clips and stuff, which is quite cool. It's a cool piece. They just go into his palm like so. He's already got one palm on into the hole. You just push them in and then they'll hold. But because what you might use for them, the paper clips or whatever, the original joint that comes with it uses this one. That's what's in his shoulder normally. So I've already changed it for the right shoulder, which I'll pull off, and I swapped it instead for this normal single ball joint because it's stronger. Because this is a double one, it's a bit weaker. So depending on the weight that you have overall, this one is going to be a better joint to use, depending on whatever it is that you use. But then because of this joint, the range in movement for the shoulder does decrease slightly. It does get hindered a little bit, so you can only go about that far up. Whereas you can see on the left arm, which uses this double joint here, again I'll show you, he can go a bit further up, and he has a bit more range with it. But that's not a big deal in my opinion. It's worth changing if you're going to use this piece. Or sometimes, again, because it's a Revoltech fit, it might loosen up, so you might have to, you might just be forced to use these ones anyway, because they just hold a little bit, the joint holds a little bit more snugly. We'll play around with it, not too much so it doesn't loosen up, but that's what I found anyway. And then also he comes with the hands as well, so I'm just showing you, this one is changed already. And if you saw my last video, which was about the hand problem with Wolverine, I had a similar problem with Magneto as well. And the problem is that they use very thin ball joints for the wrist. So I'll try and take it off now. But if you don't really look at the joint properly and you just yank it off, what can happen is you end up messing up the joint, and then you have to get a replacement one. So I'll try and show you. So okay, there it is. You can see the line in the wrist. So I kind of have to just pull it off just straight. If I bend it a little bit, if I bend it backwards a little bit, then it starts decoupling that, if you like. And that's quite annoying. And it did actually happen where it started getting a bit loose. It's okay for now. It's better than the Wolverine one. But what also happened is the joint got stuck in the hand. I'd rather the joint get stuck in the wrist hair, and then I can still swap the hand parts. But if it gets stuck in the hand, then I can't do anything about it. Well, I can, but it's just so much hassle trying to get it out of the hand than it is swapping a hand. So that was okay, but when I was doing it before, it was super annoying. But thankfully so far it's been a bit better than the Wolverine one. But that is annoying. It is quite annoying, so prepare for that. And then the other joints as well. So I'm going to get into that as well, the joint bit, but let me get with the cape first. So the cape comes in 3 pieces, like I said, and it is a very heavy piece. I've already put it in purely because the holes in the back, there's a few of them, you can put them in different ways, are super tight. Now, there's a good thing and a bad thing about it. So they're super tight probably because if they were normal and easy to put in, then the cape would not really hold. So when you first put the cape in, you're going to have to kind of screw it in a little bit, like, you know, just force it in like that, like so. And that's fine once you've done it once or twice. But if you've done it a few times, like I did for this side, and I only did it, when I say a few times, I only did it maybe in and out 4 times, just to kind of decide if I want to show you on video or not. But this is what happens. So it loosens up, and that's annoying. And I don't know if that's something that can be fixed with. I guess you can fix it yourself with applying a little bit of glue and let it kind of have a bit of friction on it, or put paper in it or something. But in terms of manufacturing, that's kind of annoying. So it means that you kind of lose mobility on it, because you can't. It's just not very mobile anymore. So you either need a second stand or something that holds this section up, or you just buy another Magneto, and I guess that's probably what they want. You just buy another figurine, which is expensive. But that's annoying. That's very, very annoying that I only did that about 3 or 4 times, and now I can't do it. So I'll do it a 5th time just to show you. So I can pull it out fairly easily now. I just kind of pull it out with a bit of effort, and then it comes out. But now, because it's loosened up, and you can kind of see that, I can pretty much just push it in. But in the beginning, like so, yeah, see, I just pushed it in. But in the beginning, you'd have to screw it in. And some people I kind of read online, they swapped the joints for smaller ones, or they filed the joint and stuff like that. But why file the joint when by screwing it in it's just going to do that anyway, right? So that's something that you should definitely be aware of, that the joint will come loose over time if you keep messing around with it, and not a lot. If you don't mess around with it too much, like once, twice maybe, you'll be okay. But after that, you're going to be looking at, you know, a fairly loose joint on the cape, and then you're going to end up wrapping or putting paper in there. So it does look cool. It's a really cool looking figurine, and you can get it into really cool poses, especially if you're going to use it with Wolverine and Spider-Man and all the other Marvel characters. You know, it is cool, and I like what these guys do with the figure. It's just I don't like the result afterwards of just, you know, 3, maybe 4 uses of the figurine and playing around with it. It just kind of becomes really difficult over time. And you know, it's the same thing with the left shoulder joint, and that's partly because of the joint itself. But it can happen. I mean, like I briefly touched upon the toe being quite loose, but you know, this one's really tight, by the way, his right one. But it's really annoying because I can accept it with some figurines like SH Figure Arts and whatever, but with Revoltech, because it happens a lot and way too quickly, it happens just like almost too quickly with these guys. It can be really, really annoying, especially given the price that you pay for these guys. And then also, speaking on the joint again, look, this one's also kind of coming loose, and that was just me bending it backwards. So you can see that the peg is not fully in. So there we go. Just because I bent it backwards, you know, it's a little bit I can be fine with. It's an acceptable amount, but the Revoltech stuff is borderline unacceptable with some of the quality control, which is a shame because, like I said, they look great once you got them in a cool pose. That's a bit of a weird pose, but okay. So that pretty much covers Magneto. Sorry. I should mention his helmet, by the way, is a soft plastic on the cheek pieces, so don't bend them too much, otherwise you won't get them back unless you heat them up and then try to reset them again. But it's a soft plastic, so it's quite cool. But that pretty much covers Magneto and what that's all about. And I'm kind of mixed on it purely because it looks great and you can pose really cool poses with it, but it's just really awkward once the cape comes loose, and that's really now up to you whether you still want to get it or not. And Venom was the same thing as well. They also released the Venom one a few months ago, and he had the same problem where he was top heavy, and then his joints would come loose overall. I didn't do a Venom video partly because I couldn't be bothered, because it was just like I was a bit disappointed with it. But Magneto, I thought, why not? So yeah, it looks cool, but you're gonna struggle with the joints over time. I guarantee it. So that's what Magneto done. So I keep saying Wolverine, but that's Magneto done. Thanks for watching. I will probably still get the other ones. I'm looking forward to Captain America next, I think it is, and Carnage after that. So thanks for watching. Check out the other videos if you haven't, of Spider-Man, Wolverine, and other figurines in my collection. So I'll catch you next time. Peace out.